Hello everyone, it's Gillian from My Escape again. This week we're going to do our second look at Krong, our game in progress. We've done our introductions and everything last week, so if you haven't watched that video, flip back and watch that one. This week we're going to be going into a little bit more detail in some of the items you can add to the levels to make them a little bit more interesting. So specifically we are going to be looking at flippers and items we know as bounces. Now I'm sure you've got a rough idea of what they're going to do, so I'm going to switch over to the editor and you can see them in action. Okay, so here we are in the editor and I'm going to go straight to the elements box. And now one of the first items we're going to be talking about is the 360 degree bounce. Now I'll just hide that, and now the idea with this is that, see these red areas here, these are all essentially bumpers. So when either Krong or Boomba comes into contact with them, their impact is kind of magnified and they will bounce away slightly faster than they would have done had it just been a static surface. So this lets you create a sense of momentum and lets you kind of speed things up a little bit. There are two sizes of this, just a 360 degree bounce small and a 360 bounce large. Now, just a little bit of a reminder, in case you've forgotten, this is all just temporary art. None of this is final just now. Now, as an alternative, you also have this item here, and this is called the power bounce. So you can see it's just one panel, although you can use four of them to create essentially a 360 degree power bounce if you want, and when you hit off that it will have a similar effect to the 360 bounce but much stronger. It's about double the strength, I think, so obviously it's going to affect your speed a lot more than the 360 degree bounce will. And last but not least, we have got our flippers. Now, these work exactly as you would expect pinball flippers to work, except you're not in control of when they flip. Whenever Krong comes into contact with the actual flipper section here, this square at the top is just a base. When Krong or Boomba come into contact with the flipper, it activates and sends them pinging off wildly in any directions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a quick level using some of these objects so you can see them in action, and then I'll show you, then we'll go over to the game and you can see how they work. And okay, that's us back in the editor, and here is the level I have thrown together. We've got our start position up here, and you can see we've got power bounces, 360 bounces and flippers pretty much everywhere. There's your start position here, your exit here. We don't have any buttons or levers or anything to trigger this light on the exit here, so this level will be pretty much unfinishable, but for just demo purposes that's fine just now. So I've called it bounce level. I'm going to save it and then we'll load it into the game and see what happens. Okay, so here we are in the game and I've loaded our bounce level that we've just made in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load it, but first off I wanted to point out, I've just remembered I'd put a rather, inappropriate background in it. So it really doesn't match with anything. I was just testing to see if I could get the background scrolling at a slightly slower pace than the foreground objects. So you're going to have to ignore the background for now, guys, because it does not match at all. So here we go. We'll go as Krong because we want to be nice and bouncy, and we'll see what happens. Turn off those debug graphics. And as you can see, the bounces and flippers are activating whenever he comes into contact with them, and that is keeping his momentum going around the level. So you can see how careful placement of these would make any level quite interesting. Krong will keep going for a lot longer than he normally would. Normally he would have come to rest ages ago, but for now he's kept moving. Oh, this is quite addictive to watch. It's like a screensaver. Anyway, right, I'm getting distracted. So I'm going to stop this now, guys, and I thank you for watching. Okay, so that was your power bounces and your flippers. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Next week we'll be introducing even more elements. So if you tune in then, you'll be able to get to see a wee bit more of what is going to make Krong awesome fun. See you later.